That's it?
Yes.
So we are live again from Contact in the Desert with
Michaël Tellinger.
Michael. I'm very bad with names, it's terrible. I was expressing this morning. I feel energy more than name, and sometimes I'm so embarrassed because I'm like, even my name, I'm like, my
you
God,
got a blank.
Michaël Tellinger.
You got a blank.
We've been following your work, and we are truly honored to meet you today and for us to offer a little bit of your time.
Thank
because
you.
I know you're very busy, and we would love to know why you came here, your work with Ubuntu, and different things you want to share with the French-speaking community, not only in France.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
we are used just to let you know, we are used to make the translation of videos and articles, and you are the only one new model of system that we back up for our website and the French community, because we believe that it's the best one and mostly the only one that it can work.
At this stage, I don't see any other system. I don't see anyone else proposing a solution.
Yeah.
It seems that it's all fallen on the shoulders of the Ubuntu movement.
Might say a good transition system, I believe.
Yeah.
And there was something very special this year that I noticed in the Ubuntu movement, is that you made a really great video about what is the transition.
Yes.
With still the one kind of economic system within it.
Yes.
And to the no. Yes. So thank you for this video. This video we already translated into French. And what is new since the last 2 years about Ubuntu? Did you find your village the test village you are looking for to implement the Ubuntu system? Did you find it?
Okay, so there's a few questions that you
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so
I have more.
Let me try the first one. First of all, the Ubuntu movement and our philosophy is a growing philosophy, and it's taken 12 years to get to this point. And I now understand why it's taken 12 years, because I've had to go through a lot of experiences, learning about trying to build communities, trying to create intentional communities, which are a huge problem, as you may know.
I live in one. So
It is a huge problem. Intentional communities are potential disasters, and 99% of intentional communities fail.
Yes.
And they leave people actually, at odds with each other. They actually bring people together with a good intention, but they actually start dividing people because of the trauma that we still carry with us through the money system, the money, the ego, the greed, the
fear,
the hierarchy, the fear. So it's a big problem to deal with. And so we've had to go through all this, get involved in politics. I've been in 3 elections now in South Africa, in 2012, 2014 and 2016. 2014 I ran for president, trying to see if we can get 1 or 2 seats in parliament, and then I realized that's not going to change or help us at all. We're going to have no effect in government when we have 1 or 2 or even 10 seats. You're going to be going to parliament and arguing and screaming and shouting and achieve absolutely nothing. But all these experiences, remember, we are, as we sit here, we are the accumulation of all our experiences that we've ever had. And based on that foundation of knowledge and experience, we can then create the future path forward using that knowledge and experiences. If we don't use that knowledge and experiences, then we're just being very, very, very silly. So what this has done, it's allowed the Ubuntu movement, it's allowed me to formulate a whole new strategy that is so simple, so elegant, and so easily achievable that it boggles people's minds. Because when I now tell people that we have a simple plan, it is so simple that we can start it today, but it's going to require us working together. And that remains one of the most difficult things to do among people today. Consensus and cooperation and collaboration. Because there's the fear. And that's what made me realize, stop worrying about politics at the governmental level, at the national level. We can't win that fight. We can't win that battle, because the political outcome of the elections is completely rigged and manipulated.
Yes, completely.
Right? Yes. So just wait for these carts. There suddenly seem to be 2,000 carts going up and down.
Thank you.
So we realize that we can't win the elections. We can't get into government and change government. But what we can do, we can get into the hearts and minds of people in a small town We don't have to build an intentional community. The communities already exist.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. There's already tribe and things that, I mean, like you say, Ubuntu is an African name, so...
Yeah, but hold on. Intentional communities suggest people get together, they buy a farm and they start building infrastructure.
That's what we do.
Stop doing that. It's a waste of time, money and energy.
Thank you.
They are communities, they call towns and villages.
Yes.
They already have the houses, they have the sewage, they have the water, they have the factories, they have the farms, they have everything. All we got to do is get the people to think differently about how to coexist and how to cooperate and collaborate. Don't have to build anything.
So how do you help people to not be afraid of come out of the comfort zone? Because they've been
this is where the one small town will change the world philosophy comes in. And that's why it's so simple, so beautiful, so elegant, that when people see it, they go, oh my God, I see what you mean. Wow, we can do it now. But we need to find a small town.
So you have not found a small town yet?
Of course, otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yeah, you'd be there.
I'd be there and the whole world will be doing the same. Then I no longer have to try and get the message to sink in somewhere. Remember this is the key thing. And I get this question all the time. Have you started a small town? The answer is, of course not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you. You'd be on video on
We'd
YouTube.
be on you, yes.
You'd be watching the videos from our small town, getting inspiration and
coming to you.
No, not coming to me. Doing the same in your town. So the moment we get that small town going, please remember, this is why it is so powerful. It is not the proof of concept. It is the acceptance of concept. There's a big difference. The moment we have a mayor, the council, the sheriff and the people that accept the idea and they start to implement it, that itself will already trigger many other towns to do the same. We don't have to show that it's going to succeed, we just have to show that we love the idea and we are doing it. That is enough inspiration for other people to do the same. That's why I call it a domino effect and an unstoppable force. Because when people see the plan of action and what the results are, they're going to go, hey, Mr. Mayor, why aren't you doing for us what they're doing over there? We want what they're doing.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen.
Yes. So what else do you want to say something?
The last time I was checking the updates, you was in Brazil, looking for a town in Brazil.
Yeah.
And so, do you think that there is a country in particular that there will be more chances to that happen?
That is a very important question. And at this stage, there are towns in Brazil and the 9 islands of Ilha Maré that we've been given the go-ahead by the mayor of Salvador. Salvador is the 3rd largest city in Brazil. Yeah. We got the support of the mayor in Salvador to do this.
Imagine.
It's just now to implement this. Yes. We have a town in Canada actually. We have a town in Canada where the mayor won a landslide victory, 80%, who wants to do this. So it's now for me to go there and meet with the mayor and help that mayor to implement the step-by-step bullet point application or implementation.
And what are the bullet points?
It's very simple. Yeah. The mayor becomes the driving force of the propagandist, the promoter, the marketer of the philosophy for his or her small town. So what happens, me as the mayor, I get elected as the mayor and I then call the people together and say, right, we're going to turn our town into paradise. We're going to do what no one has ever done before, ever in human history. This has never happened before. This is why it's so exciting. And our consciousness at this point in time, that is elevated to a level where we can visualize it, imagine it and manifest it ourselves because we're co-creating it. So me as the mayor goes to the people and says, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start a bunch of community projects, which are businesses. We're going to start a bunch of businesses. We're going to start 100 businesses in our town. Growing food, all the different aspects of growing food, packaging food, distributing food. So we got so much food we don't know what to do with it. We're going to start building supercomputers, or creating a computer factory, or building engineering works, and a new education system, and new material sciences, and our hospital is going to be upgraded to cure cancer and any other disease.
So all of this we need money to start?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like any capitalist model. Yes. And while we're on the subject, actually, it's very important to realize that while we are laying the platform for a world in which money is no longer needed, we're using the tools of enslavement to become the tools of liberation.
Thank you.
This is why it's so important. We're using the greed of capitalism to attract the investors. And we're using the tool of money to make so much money for our town that we won't know what to do with it. Because remember, the platform we're creating is that we don't need to pay for anything in our town. As long as everyone contributes 3 hours a week, 3 hours a week,
A week.
A week, not a day. 3 hours a week.
Oh,
Where is
that's
the
great.
town?
Exactly. That means
I
in a
have
town of
loads
10,000
hours
people.
to give. Can we give more than 3 hours if you want to?
You don't need to.
Okay.
And understand why. There's a very important reason why you don't need to give more. Because you'll be giving more without even realizing it. But 3 hours a week towards one of the community projects. In a town of 10,000 people, between 5,000 and 10,000 people. Let's use 10,000 because it's easy maths. So in a town of 10,000 people, that's 30,000 hours of labor you have every week. Free labor force. 30,000 hours. Do you know how many projects and businesses you need to put 30,000 hours of labor to work? You need a lot of businesses, otherwise the people have nothing to do. Can you see the power in this?
Of course.
So it means we can bake so much bread, we can supply the whole of bloody Canada with bread from our one little town. Can you see?
Yeah.
We can build supercomputers, we can create new materials, we can heal disease, we can do anything we choose to do. Every project is managed by a specialist in that form, whether it's a baker or a shoemaker or an engineer or a rocket scientist, that's specialist in that field, supported by a few people that have experience in that. And eventually, the rest of the labor gets done by everyone in the town that contributes just 3 hours a week. To do the carrying, the packaging, the moving, the this, the everything that needs to be done, the manual labor, right? Which is normally in a factory or in a business is the most expensive part of running a business today, is paying the people, paying the labor force. That's why everybody wants to move to automation. And automation is not a solution. We become slaves to the machines then.
Absolutely.
We don't want to become slaves to the machines. We want to live beautiful lives. I want to wear clothes that were made by people's hands and passion. The energy in the clothes,
me too.
not wear clothes and eat
jeans
food
yes.
that were made by machines or by replicators that make food in a replicator
3D.
machine. I'm not interested. I want to grow my food organically and taste the goodness of the soil of the earth that's imbued with the energy of creation. So this is what we're doing. We're creating this one small town where everybody contributes, and you don't need a transitional phase because everybody has 3 hours a week to contribute.
So they can still continue
They
to
can still
work.
have a job. You can still work in the bank or work somewhere else and just contribute 3 hours a week. That means we can go into this phase immediately. We don't have to wait for special
And then
special
in
conditions.
the long run, there will be no money when it will start, like a virus, a
Yes.
good virus,
So what-
start to spread all over the planet.
Well, what happens first is that the
And then
businesses.
we have free energy. We need free energy.
Well, this whole thing is based on free energy.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that up. So the first thing as a mayor, I go out and we shoot a number of videos, promotional videos. I become the promoter of the philosophy for our town. So me as the mayor, now I'm a political figure. I'm a political appointed figure that is now saying these things. It's not Michaël Tellinger, the radical leader of some movement that's saying this. It's the mayor of the town that is saying this. And me as the mayor says, if you're an engineer, an inventor, or a scientist, or a healer, if you can cure cancer, if you can create free energy devices, if you can create new materials out of graphene and hemp or whatever, if you've got special information or special inventions, come to my town. We will give you whatever you need so you can create, invent, and create your inventions, your creations to the best of your ability. Can you imagine what will happen? This has never happened before. This is why the strength of this message is so much more powerful than if I say it, because it now comes from the mayor. So you'll get the engineers and the inventors to come to our town. Cars driving water will come and do it, because now they no longer fear for their lives.
Yeah.
Because right now those inventors fear for their lives, because they know they get murdered and slaughtered and hijacked and so forth. The people that cure cancer will come because they know that we'll actually
Yeah, my
use.
father's best friend, Professor Andrieux, in the hospital, International Hospital of Paris, found the cure for cancer and AIDS 15 years ago,
Yes.
and got destroyed by Montagnier, and
Yes.
it was not. And now he has multimillionaire Russian giving him millions of dollars, so he's curing multi-rich.
Yes.
But he's shrinking of sadness because he has the cure. There is cure. There is cure for everything. There
Cure
is
for all disease.
answers for everything already.
Yes.
We have it. So
Exactly.
much channeling, so much conscious. So yes,
Yes. So you can see how quickly our town is going to become very rich.
yes.
Because now, imagine how much money our hospital is going to make once we start curing cancer. Because people from all over the world are going to come to our town to be cured of cancer. And the cures for the people of our town are for free. Remember, everything we do for ourselves is for free. the food we grow, the hospital, the healthcare, the engineering, the clothes, the schools, everything is for free for our people as long as you contribute your 3 hours a week. Now let's go back to the energy. The way that we springboard this idea into the whole community is with our own supply of electricity. So I actually call this the foundation of this new utopian town. We find our own source of electricity. Once we have our own source of electricity, and you know that that's possible, especially if you have a river running by,
or a sun like this.
I live in Costa Rica in a community like that. We have a huge river, and we are based by the planta de GAïA, that is the electronic, and I have $10,000 worth of solar panel. So yeah, it's completely possible.
So. But you're talking about conventional techniques now.
Yes.
There are other techniques.
No, but because I am in the transition until I met you. Now I know I can go further.
So basically we set up our own platform of electricity, so we don't have to buy electricity.
Off-grids.
So our town has its own supply of electricity. The moment we have our own electricity, that becomes the promise to the people. If you contribute 3 hours a week, the first benefit you get is free electricity.
So now, sorry to interrupt you. I know in Costa Rica is the case, and I know in certain towns of the United States is the case. You're not allowed to recuperate the rainwater, which anyway with the chemtrails is not very wise. But in Costa Rica, in December of last year, they passed a law forbidding us to be off-grid and to do this.
All these things will change.
Okay.
All this, we can't worry about that things. If you worry about those things,
you do nothing.
I am not. I'm just.
So I'm just telling people, stop worrying and stop being intimidated and afraid by these bullshit laws that are being passed against us.
Yes.
Okay, this is our planet. This is our life. We're taking it back, but we're doing it without any violence, any opposition or conflict or resistance, because we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. We're using the greed of capitalism and the success of a corporate structure that belongs to the people. The success, monetary success. So we become, in the process of creating a society and a platform where money is no longer needed, we become the most successful model of capitalism in the entire history of capitalism. Isn't that ironic?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just incredible. And at the point when our businesses are so successful that the hospital is making $3 trillion a year because we're curing cancer, and the whole world is coming to our town to be cured of cancer. Can you imagine how much money our hospital is going to make? When our little factory starts making supercomputers, so you buy one computer for the rest of your life, how many computers do you think we're going to sell? So and that's just the beginning. Everything we do is going to be the best, the most long-lasting. So we're going to sell so much, and also because we're doing it together, we can sell it cheaper than any other company or any other factory. So
and there is art,
art, culture. So we build the best recording studio in the world, the best theater production studio in the world, or theater in the world. So suddenly we'll be attracting artists, performers, music recording engineers, and so forth. So the culture and the arts, culture, science, and technology will be exploding without any barrier. There's no barrier to progress, no hurdle to progress, because we actually invite those people and give them everything they need to succeed at the highest possible level. The best treatment for the purification of water, our rivers, the air, the soil, everything imaginable. All the minority groups that look after the air, the bees, the butterflies, the soil, etc. All those minority groups will get the best technology tools and scientific support to provide those services at the best of their capacity. In a capitalist world, they never have enough money or tools or services or whatever. So can you imagine how healthy our town is going to be?
Yes. No, I am feeling it. I don't even imagine it.
And not only that, so all the money that comes in, 1/3 of that money is distributed to the funders, the guys that fund it. And why are they going to fund it?
In other towns.
Why are they? No, stop. Don't go there. Don't go there. Now you're going into charity.
Yes.
We're not a charity organization. We're a contributionist organization. Charity is the cancer of humanity.
I totally agree.
Okay, charity is what keeps destroying us. Stop giving things away.
Stop feeding victim consciousness.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Exactly. So this is where people don't understand it. That's why they keep entrapping themselves.
So he's being the example for others to set the same program.
So sorry, now I lost my train of thought. Where were we? What were we talking about?
I said the investor will get...
So why is this the most lucrative investment opportunity? Why are we creating a foundation where money is no longer needed? We're creating the most exciting investment opportunity for capitalist investors. Why? Because if you invest your money into one of the projects or businesses in our town, first of all, you have free electricity, free labor, you have all the components necessary for that factory or whatever we're doing, provided by the rest of the community, if we're making those components. You have everyone in town on your side. Everyone is going to work towards succeeding in you have no competition. No one trying to compete with you and undermine you. No more competition, right? So what you're investing is an absolute success story. It will succeed.
Of course.
Better than any other investment opportunity that you've ever had as a capitalist investor anywhere else in the world.
It's the most secure investment.
The most secure investment you will ever find anywhere. Can you see how ironic that is? And yet we're creating a platform in which you no longer need the money. This is the beauty of this whole thing.
Beautiful.
And that it's taken 12 years. Understand, this is how poisoned the capitalist system is, because it always destroys anything that tries to bring it down.
Yes.
And it took me a long time to process this, and I came under a lot of attack over the last, especially the last 6 years. When we keep asking for money, asking for donations, and I realized, hold on, something is wrong here, because we constantly need money, and I can't carry on
and you're
surviving.
offering something that, yeah.
So what's going on here? And I realized that it's all about the money. The Ubuntu movement started because of money. Everything about the Ubuntu movement is about the money. It launched because of our understanding what money is, how it came into being, who controls it, how it is created as a tool of enslavement, and how it continues to destroy anything that opposes it. So I realized, hold on, we need to make as much money as we can, and we need to create a system that will make the community so rich in money that we no longer need the money. So it was part of the journey and discovery that I had to walk to realize this. And only about 2 years ago, when that penny dropped for me, and I realized, oh my God, it's all about the money. We have to stop being apologetic about the money and say, oh, we're going to create these utopian societies with no money. No. That's a charity. See, that's a charity mentality.
Completely.
We're going to create the charities system with no money. Everyone's going to just do everything for free.
Thank you.
That will keep tripping us up.
With people with that, because I had problem with money, and now I am totally in love with abundance, and the way it manifests it manifests, and the way what I do with my money is completely different, and I'm not into charity anymore at all, and I don't do victim consciousness at all, but I am in peace with the money. And for me, everybody first start to be in peace with it, to comprehend how we can use it as a tool to start building things, and then, like you said, he will vanish naturally.
So very quickly, I need to come back to this thing: how to change the charity thing into a very powerful force for us. And I use that very successfully in my town when we are upgrading the town hall. Very simply, where basically you can offer a plate of food. Don't ever give something away to anybody for free. Don't give people food and they do nothing in return. Say, great. So you can start an intentional community in an impoverished area where people don't have any food. And you do it, what we did in our town, for example, if you come and work for 3 hours a day in one of the projects, you'll get a plate of food. Now suddenly you got a free labor force.
You feel good, because you feel
they feel good.
They feel good.
They feel good.
They know that they work for the food.
Yes. So that's very simple.
You
come work
for
3 hours in the morning, you work on the farm or in the factory, wherever, and we don't have money to pay, but you'll get a plate of food, so at least you won't go hungry. That's a start.
Yes.
So now you've got a labor force. As long as you got the food to give the people,
absolutely,
you've got a free labor force, and with that you can already start something. But let's go back to how our one small town, which is a whole different thing, because now it comes from the political authority down, right? It comes from the mayor down, so it's a very different energy. We're using the political structures to implement a very different system under the same political regime, and they can't stop it because we're using their tools. So all the money that comes into our successful businesses gets divided 3 ways. We do everything according to the Holy Trinity, or sacred geometry. 1/3 goes to the investor. The investor is going to be making so much money that they'll be so happy, and we already have investors standing by. They're just waiting for the one small town.
So they are standing by? You have them?
Oh, and once we have a small town and the mayor invites the investors, they'll be knocking on the door. Oh, please. And
there
remember,
is a lot.
and the conscious millionaires will be
Yes.
queuing up to invest because
Yes.
they'll see the opportunity.
Yes, and I know a lot of conscious millionaires.
And they'll see it as a real opportunity that they have never had before.
Yes.
The next third goes to upgrading the community projects and the businesses and constantly creating new ones. And the last third goes to distribute to the people, all the people in our community. So every month you get money for working 3 hours a week. And you'll get more money from the community projects than you're getting in your job. That is the most incredible thing.
And did you present the pack of investors you have already ready for going in this adventure to the mayors and to the public to say, oh, now we have so many money to invest for this project, everything is ready, we just need your
Yeah, no, we haven't done that because at this stage there are a few mayors that have started making noises. I'm also meeting with some Native American people, the leaders in Native American tribes, and they, for example, are perfect, or the First Nations people in Canada. The tribal chiefs there are in perfect situation,
Position, yes.
perfect position to do something
yeah.
for their people immediately. So it's happening. It's going very, very quickly. Remember, we only launched
So
this.
it will come from the tribe, from the native.
It will come from the people
from the
themselves
people.
and the leadership of those people, whether it's a mayor or a tribal chief. We only launched this in January, right? So it is going so quickly. We only launched the one small town thing in January, although I've been nurturing it for the last 2 years. And we used it in our South African elections in August in 2016. Was one small town was our strategy in 13 small municipalities. We didn't win any seats, but we got the message planted in the people's minds.
Yes, that's the point.
And 3 days before I left South Africa, I had a meeting with the mayor of a very popular town in South Africa, who suddenly went, "Oh my God, I love this. This is fantastic." So I left on such a high because I know that he's already working on putting the pieces together. So when I come back from our American and Canadian tour, we're going to start implementing this in a small town in South Africa. And I never ever imagined that it would happen in South Africa because our political system is so completely overrun by the bureaucratic, exploitative regime of the ANC, who've become an absolute dictatorship over the people, destroying our lives. It was supposed to be the liberator of the people, Nelson Mandela's party. It's become the most draconian oppressor of the people anyone could have ever imagined, far more so than the apartheid regime has ever been. It has destroyed our country, it's ripped the people apart, it has divided the people on so many more levels than we could have ever imagined because they sold our country to the bankers and the capitalists. And we're going to change that. Because we now have one mayor who totally gets it. He was so switched on, so focused, and we're going to make it work in South Africa. I believe that it might actually be the first small town might come in South Africa.
South Africa.
And
Well,
I
I
must tell
think
you,
I'm going to have to go and settle down in South Africa.
well, find a town in Canada. Canada is
I
perfect.
am in and I am in Costa Rica. She's in Canada.
What is it from Canada? Yeah, you found a town in which province?
I forget what it's called. The town. It's a difficult name for me to remember.
No, just the province where it is.
I can't remember.
It's on West Coast?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
okay.
because I haven't looked at the map. If I've never actually visualized it. Oh, that's where it is. But
Okay.
like Frankincense or Frankenfort or something like something.
Frankfurt is in Europe.
No, not Frankfurt. It's something to do with Frank.
Frankincense. I like that. Do you have a tank of frankincense?
I guess it is the English community of Canada.
Yes, I think so.
That's in the West probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a town in France that might be interesting to check. Is Bucharest.
Bucharest.
Oui, Bucharest.
Bucharest
We
in
have a
France.
place in France that have UFO sighting all the time.
Yeah.
You have all the crazy psychic and I'm
All
one
the
of them,
healers,
all the
psychics,
healers, everybody's over
artists.
How big is the town?
there. It's I
Like
don't know.
5,000.
That's perfect. 5,000 is a perfect size.
We're gonna make a big video about it,
Because
and I'm gonna talk to
we have a
the
lot of
village
followers in
Costa
France.
Rica.
We have 1 million visitors in France on our website.
I'm desensitized to the UFO stuff
Yes.
and transition.
And
They're
free
very
energy.
sensitized people over there.
And
So-
free
so
energy
look,
and
the-
rivers and beautiful pyramid like
Yes.
like a
if
mountain.
there's a river, if there's a
There is
town with a
river
river,
over there.
then we
River,
can provide
waterfall, everything.
Then we can provide our own electricity
That would
virtually
be-
immediately.
that's
So that's
amazing.
like first prize. We don't have to go to alternative new energy. It's cheap, it's quick, it's efficient. We have technology. We have hydro turbine technology that is 20 times more efficient as normal hydro turbine technology. 20 times. So one turbine instead of 20 turbines. So that's what we'll bring as the Ubuntu movement. But even after this talk here, I'm going to be talking to a free energy inventor right here today,
Great.
who wants to share his free invention with the Ubuntu movement because he believes that through Ubuntu we can bring it to the world.
But this is all the thing. Free energy, of course, is,
Yes.
is to free the people.
It's the key.
And cooperation.
But remember, you can't just give it to the people for free.
No.
Then
we
it
don't-
becomes
we-
another charity.
We completely understand that.
One thing I see that people, when they get in touch with the information of Ubuntu movement from the mayor, they might end up notice that they already given those 3 hours a week to the community. They will just go on and be very happy to do so
Yes.
because
So-
it will count for them.
Yeah,
look,
plus we want to do things with our life.
Yes.
yeah.
We want to feel
And
productive.
so they will encourage people to do the same because they feel happy about that.
Look, so my main message to the people watching this, especially in the French-speaking countries, and the Ubuntu book is being translated into French right now. I think it must be nearly finished, but hopefully we'll get the one to a small town so we don't even need to finish the book, because the book takes us up to the point of the one small town. It doesn't even deal with it. It just deals with the philosophy. So we've evolved a lot further now. So my message to the French-speaking people of the world is go out there, look at your own countries, whichever country you live in, whether it's the French-speaking African countries or in Europe or wherever else. Look at the small towns, and if you know the mayor, go to the mayor and say, listen, we have a solution. We can turn our town into paradise, but it's going to have to come from you, Mr. or Mrs. Mayor. It has to be driven by you, then it'll be a success. And then contact me, send me an email. It's contact@ubuntuplanet.org or contact@ubuntuparty.org.za. Right? Send me an email, say, right, we have a town, we want you to come out here and guide us through the process. I will stop whatever I'm doing and I'll come out there.
Thank you very
My
much.
God,
very much.
thank you so much. I am absolutely overwhelmed by you and your presence.
No, thank
And
you.
we
Thank
are-
you for sharing
We are in
this.
well, this
platform.
is what shows we travel a long way to come and meet you, and I'm totally overwhelmed. It's ridiculous. No, because we came here for this.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks
sorry,
so
it's
much
really
today.
tear of love.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for being a platform and to carry this information to people.
Yes,
we
and we're
at
gonna do
Stop-
more.
We at
We're gonna do
Stop
more.
And you know, the French-speaking world, the French and the Spanish-speaking world is the next platform. You know.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So basically, once we got the English world covered, which we've pretty much gone,
Yep.
now we got to reach the French-speaking world, the Spanish-speaking world, and then obviously Brazil, and that's the Portuguese-speaking world,
Portuguese.
and I believe my book is being translated into Chinese now, and then I think we've got it.
Yes.
Then we just the Russians, it's being translated to Russian as well now.
So how many people are following and not following but are very active in the Ubuntu
They're registering into
movement?
the movement.
We have people in more than 200 countries.
200 countries?
That doesn't mean that they are active, but it means that they are
Keeping
that
an eye.
they're
There's a
keeping an
link.
eye. But we have more than 57, I think it's about 60 countries, people that have signed up to represent the Ubuntu movement in their country. So I think my phone is ringing. It's
That's
my
good.
next appointment.
It's time.